Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two. I am, of course, the host. As always, welcome, everybody, to episode number 330. This is a special episode because today's date is July 11th. July 11th is a significant date in Casting for Two history because that's the day, the podcast first began. July 11th, 2013. The podcast is now 6 years old. It's been a fun ride and it's been fun to do. And I'm so happy to bring you guys all on this adventure. And I'm just so overwhelmed and grateful that I get to do what I do. Of course, I'm continuing my coverage for RTX 2019, recorded live in Austin, and I once again shout outs to carved.com. Carved makes phenomenal wood and resin cell phone cases, wallets, money clips or wallets, slim wallets, bracelets, all that stuff. They sponsored the swag bag for RTX, and they have some damn fine products, and I recommend everybody go check out carved.com. But I have to talk about my guests. I can't think of a better pair of guests to celebrate 6 years of podcasting than Nolan North and Troy Baker, two legendary voiceover actors who have done so many projects. I'm not going to even get into how many projects they do. Just go on IMDb and look up all their projects. They have a YouTube channel going on where they play older video games. It's called Retro Replay. I suggest checking it out because they're both so funny together. But you know what? I'm done. We got to get in this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please. We're going to talk about everything and nothing at all. This is a very loose show where we're just going to hang out. We're going to chill. Cool. Now, the one question I have.
Oh, we're doing it. We're going.
Oh yeah, we're going. It's live. Sorry.
Always
ABR.
Good.
I have one question, and the one question: what's more fun, to create a character or to play an existing character?
You got to drink and do a new one. Roadhouse.
Go ahead. It really depends on the character.
Okay.
If someone gives me a character and says, all right, this is something like a Batman, right?
Yeah.
It's been iterated upon countless years over almost 80 or over 80 years now. There's a confidence that you have knowing there's nothing I can do that could screw this up. Mm-hmm. And the second that I worry about that, I'm not thinking about the character. I'm thinking about me. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. It's like, hey, what new spin can I put on this character? How can I move this character down the line? If someone gives me a new character, it's like, very sorry about that. All terra incognita. It's all just, let's build this thing together. So I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I think that, there's certain roles, so if it's a main character and it's going to be over a certain amount of time, that's one thing. But one of my favorite things in animation is when you go in and you do a few characters. Mm-hmm. And they're literally, it may be just a few lines and just a couple scenes or something, but right there on the spot, you and the producers will go, what does he sound like? I mean, it's like, okay, well, what if it's like a Kennedy family member, but he's from Alabama, So you're trying to find something there that goes out like a Kennedy, then start talking all this. And you can find these, literally finding it on the fly. Mm-hmm. until they just, oh yeah, I like that. And it's not something that you, oh yeah, I remember doing that one. It just
something spontaneous is just
Yeah.
like boom in the moment.
That's
Cool.
spontaneous in the moment,
Yeah.
and you've created it in a collaborative way with the producers and director, and it might be like, yeah, do that, and boom, you run with it, and then so if it's big, like you were talking about, like a bigger role, that's time in, but sometimes just doing those things off the fly, it's very rewarding.
I wouldn't have thought about that. I've always it kind of shows how this goes. Yeah.
Do you want?
Sure.
And you can totally eat on mic.
I don't want. Is it cold or is it hot?
Well, I just put it down there
Yeah.
betwixt us.
Yeah.
Cold pizza. Go ahead. Whilst I, like, how long has that been sitting out though? That's my thing. Is I'm always
He's checking the watch.
5 hours.
He's not even joking.
Now
Well,
it's
that
just
is now a
torture.
plate of diarrhea.
So they put pizza in front. I was like, I can get something to eat real quick. He's like, here's some pizza we ordered yesterday.
Here's some pizza we found in the trash can.
But I mean,
Nothing but the best.
I
Happy
had,
RTX.
maybe I had to wrestle. Now I want pizza though. That's what's so funny. Is like,
Yeah, let's just.
I'm
I don't
weird
even
about
want to be
food.
tempted.
Okay.
Like I'm the kind of guy that I read an article recently. Is like the sell by date or the best by date is when the food is at its peak performance, but has nothing to do with whether it's good or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the day after, if not the day of. Like I'll question is like, Best by July 6th. I'm
That's
like,
my wife.
Yeah.
Jill's the same
Oh
way.
yeah, absolutely same way.
I will throw that shit out. Fully unopened. Blah, you're gone.
Yeah.
We'll be at a restaurant.
This
They say, "Can we
poison-
wrap that up for you?" And she goes, "Yes, please." And I look at her as the guy walks away. I go, "Really?"
You're never gonna eat
She's like,
that.
"Well, I don't want to be rude." I'm like,
Give it to them.
Somebody might eat that,
Right. Yeah.
Because you're going to take it home and just throw it out.
Right.
Fareed was this way. We went to lunch free with Rooster Teeth. Said, hey, can you package this up and give it to the homeless? I was like, oh man, I've never even thought about that. And Los Angeles has
You're a good
zero
person.
homeless population.
Yeah,
so I
true.
mean, but I am the same way. I look at leftovers and go, I'll never eat that.
Mm-hmm.
The best food doesn't matter. It served that meal at that time.
You can edit all this, right?
I'm done.
Great.
No, I'm not
got
What's your
you.
next? What's your next?
I'm not editing
And
anything.
don't.
It's all going to be pizza talk. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
dude.
I mean, you're putting in your body. Why not? Be aware of,
I have
Yeah,
I wanna
spoiled
be-
food.
Here's the
food.
deal though. I don't know if you've ever been this. You were recently in this situation. It wasn't driven by food, but if you've ever gotten food poisoning, or if you've ever been in a situation where it's like, my entire body is trying to evacuate.
Yeah.
You get really cautious about what you eat, how you eat it, when you eat it,
Right.
where you eat it, everything. I set you up perfectly.
I threw up recently.
Oh.
Not like today. But
Okay.
Yeah, but that was a flu. It was a 24-hour.
was it though? Maybe.
I don't know.
You always say you have an iron constitution. You can eat anything.
I
What
can't,
if it was like maybe you can't?
I
Maybe
have
you
scraped.
can't.
I have scraped mold off bread and eaten it.
You have not.
Absolutely. I was broke. Long. And even now, I'd be like, fuck it, just a little mold.
Really?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Come on.
No,
What,
seriously.
then eat that pizza.
Huh? I eat it. I'm just not that hungry.
No.
Liar. We haven't eaten since breakfast. I know.
Uh-oh.
That was a challenge. I have to deal with you if you
And
get
he's
sick.
I got a key to your room.
so this is now my
Good, though.
Oh, jeez.
the chips that we just ate too, like primed the pump.
Anything else? What?
No.
Next question.
This
No,
is
I want to
is
keep
it.
going. Yeah, this is. Yeah, there's no questions.
This is
no.
the
So
podcast.
I mean, the three members of my family, we all have iron cast stomachs.
Oh, when you
everyone
say
will
three
get
members, father, mother, you.
no father, sister, myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone will get food poisoning, get sick, and we're just like, we're fine. It's all good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
I
no.
rarely have got. I mean, food poisoning is one thing. I mean, you get some, but no, I've never. I leftovers, whatever. It's like, how is that? Chilling. Oh, that doesn't smell good. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not me. Not it, dude.
I know. I have gotten like really bad. Like that was something that was wrong. That was
And you
bad
didn't
stuff.
learn from that? You didn't go.
Well,
maybe
no, it's
I
just
shouldn't.
no. But that was just that actually. The only times I've ever had food poisoning,
Yeah.
didn't smell bad. It looked fine. At a restaurant, it was probably just some guy who didn't wash his hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife is, and I learned this experientially.
Okay.
Is horribly allergic to shellfish.
Oh, okay.
So we were at, it's happened twice. We were at, you remember Vibrato, or not remember, but Vibrato's, the top of Mulholland.
Yeah,
So we're at this restaurant with some friends, and just in the middle, she's like, and we're having a great conversation. She was like, I'll be right back. And she goes to the bathroom, violently ill because she ate oysters.
Oh, okay.
Then we were down at Jelina's in, what, oysters?
I've worked in enough restaurants, and they used to, every time you
Don't
take it out,
ruin
they said
oysters for me.
you smell.
Oh, if you smell it, it's
You
bad.
can smell an oyster at all.
Yeah.
Right. Do not touch it.
Okay.
You can. They say the worst food poisoning is from oysters.
Yeah.
And so
I
she
believe
got
that.
that.
But hers, but what's weird is like oyster is a mollusk. It's not a shell. So I don't understand. But then she can do shrimp, but she can't do lobster. So she did lobster at another restaurant, and she was like, I'll be right back. I was like, she's been gone for a while, but didn't notice. And she was horribly, violently ill. So now she can't do it
That's
for
an
like
allergy.
24 hours.
That's not food poisoning. That's an allergy.
That is an allergy. That's not food poisoning.
But had she known that before? Or
I think
was
she
she's like, you know
discovered
what?
it the first night. I was like, maybe it was a fluke. And then
Okay.
decided to do
Okay.
lobster again. I was like, nope, I can't do it. So like, she will not touch it. I don't have any food allergies.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way, what we're doing right now, this is our show too.
The show, you mean Retro Replay?
Oh, look at that being
that.
on brand. Looking
There
at our
you
shirts.
go.
We're wearing the Retro Replay shirt. We did debuted here at the RTXs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's been fun.
Yeah, I heard the panel was crazy.
The panel was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They
panel was
thought
crazy.
that. Well, I think they thought it was going to be a panel, and when we showed up to do a show, they were like, "Oh,
Oops.
so you don't need these tables? Like, get it all off."
The tables with the curtains and the microphones and the pitchers of water were like, oh, no. We're going to come in here and be like ridiculous and stupid for the next 75 minutes.
Yeah.
And so literally in like 15 minutes, we turned the entire thing around and we just rolled with it. It was great.
Well, so, I mean, you guys do this show.
Yes, we do.
You obviously have to be best friends, or do you guys secretly hate each
I
other?
barely know him.
You barely know him. I was going to say, like, it's a huge commitment to be like, you know what? Let's work together. Let's do this. Are there ever times when you're just, not today. I just want to go.
Well,
And I don't want to spark any bad blood.
No,
I
there
like
is no
you
bad
guys.
blood.
no. You know, the thing is our. You know, it's when you. I don't know. Our relationship was always. It was first professional one. So we knew each other professionally, and then you start going to conventions and things like that. And I remember when Uncharted 4 was being promoted. I remember, you know, we'd go to cons and they would always have. I would have an hour panel, and usually his would be after mine or before mine. And then one day, like one of us crashed each other's panel or something like that. We started doing that.
I think it was your idea. Like,
Yeah,
let's not do this. Just do it together.
and then it was so much more fun.
Yeah.
Being able to riff with somebody, and he's really quick too. So he's just kind of run. We would, and it was like, wow, this rejuvenated the whole idea of this.
Yeah, I'm really quick.
The Q&A session. No, but it was like the Q&A session became so much more interesting, and then, you know, over the time we'd be hanging out, especially after the conventions, we're having a dinner or something,
Yeah.
and the conversations were really good, and then it just kind of morphed and eventually came into its own and into an idea of teaming up and putting something out there, and it's always evolving. I think. I mean, I think
Oh
that's
my
the cool thing.
God.
Where, you know, because now it's just it's not just one show. It's
Right.
becoming it's a channel. So now there's going to be multiple shows. There's you know, we're going to unveil a podcast, an animated series with Cyanide and Happiness, and
We're constantly reiterating, or not reiterating, but we're constantly iterating and reinventing this thing and going, okay, so how do we, that works, that doesn't work. How do we make this better? How do we branch out? And what do we
Right.
really, really want to do?
Right.
We've been doing this live show.
At the improv stuff?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like we hooked up with Levity Live, and they're like, "Why don't you just?" They're trying to not be known as just like a stand-up place.
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Well, we're absolutely not that," and they just were cool enough to give us their stage, and so we did like 5 or 6 shows around there, and it's like old school. Like I was a musician, so I know what it's like to pile into a van, grab your gear, and go from town to town, and especially in Texas. You can drive for 5 hours in one direction, and you're still in Texas.
Right.
Or 8 hours, really, if you're going out west. So I know what that's like to be
9
just...
if you're driving slow.
9 if you're driving real slow. But I've been in that situation before where it's like it's nothing but you and the open road and whoever you're doing that with.
Yeah.
And you just go, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want this to be? And we have, whether it be on a plane, literally a train, or an automobile, we have had these amazing conversations about what do we want this thing to look like? And it always comes back to the same thing. No matter what the show is, no matter what the content is, it's how can we find a way to cultivate community? And we can make people laugh. That's great. But if we can provide a place for other people to come in and make those people laugh, that's doing something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that lights us up more is like when every Monday we have our Uncharted show. Every Thursday we have our Retro Replay proper show. And we're in the chat with those people. And there's times when it's like we sit back and we watch this community just perpetuate itself. And we've seen people get diagnosed with diagnosed with cancer, and then the community support them as they go through their treatment and come out on the other side and actually be in full recovery and remission, and seeing the community surround that. It's those moments I'm like, damn, dude, we're a part of that. And all we're doing is giving people a platform. That's all we want to do.
Yeah. And I think this whole landscape where we're this field we're playing in now is something that neither of us really had any experience in. And I think traditionally in Hollywood, the creators are making things where, like, we're going to make this vision and see who likes it.
Right.
Whereas this, I've noticed, we see through the community starts to say, we like that.
Right.
And so most of the ideas that we've spun off of are things that they glommed onto watching the show or just listening to us talk, and they turned it into a thing, and we go, hey, people really like that. What if we did this with that? So the impetus for new ideas is coming from that community, which goes to the idea of cultivating that community.
A lot of times the things that we think is like, this is going to be the thing that lands. People are like, nah.
No.
They're like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and then they like something else. You're like, well, they like that.
Really?
And
That's
then we kind of go, well, where can we take that?
Yeah.
And that's been taken into animation, music. And so we're, thanks to this community and with Rooster Teeth's help and everything, we have our own, like, almost like a variety show.
Yeah.
And it's something that I always kind of wanted to have, and to be the one who controls it, the creation is. It's even better, It's just, I never like being told what to do.
Well, so for the people at home who want to check out everything that you guys do, Retro Replay, all that good stuff, what's the links? Where can they go?
YouTube.com/Retro Replay. It's at Retro Replay Show on social. You can follow us. I'm at Troy Baker VA on Twitter and official Troy Baker on Insta.
Yeah, and I'm Nolan_North. Look for the blue check.
Yeah, always
on Twitter.
Blue check.
Yeah. And really Nolan North on Instagram.
Look for Blue Tick as well.
Yeah, Blue Tick as well. But
join us on Mondays. Mondays we're just now ramping. Like we've been doing our Uncharted series where Nolan, who played Nathan Drake, has never sat down and played Uncharted. It's insane. We've been doing this. I think episode 14 is airing.
Don't get your hopes up.
Monday.
It's
no,
not pretty.
You've got people have been commenting. You've actually got really,
I've
really
gotten
good.
better since I learned
Headshot.
Well, because you have a better TV now.
We have a
dude.
dude.
That's why.
TCL hooked it up.
Yeah.
75 inches of
well,
glory.
I that wasn't even a rage quit or anything. I just that TV was.
It was so casual the way you threw. You're like, I'm over this. I was like, no.
No, but it was right there. It just hit it at the angle. Anyway,
that's another thing the community has done too. By the way, people have taken that picture and like blown it up as like you can tell it's really strange. There's a PlayStation 4 controller. There was a DualShock controller they had, but it's in the shape of an Xbox controller. I'm like, wow, y'all. Like, y'all are really don't look too hard into it.
These are people who watch CSI too much.
Yes, way too much.
Yeah.
But that's our Monday show, and we're wrapping up. And this Monday's show is, even if you have watched it, the Monday, July 8th, episode 14, even if you have watched the show, it's something brand new. It takes off on this episode. Yeah, this
14,
is where we start.
There we go.
So that's on Mondays, and then Thursdays is our retro replay proper show where we sit down on the couch and we play some game
and fun chats, cool hangs and fun chats.
Yeah.
There we go. I know you guys have to go, but thank you so much for chatting.
Appreciate it.